Hi students, today we are going to start Newton's laws of motion. Newton laws of motion. See, this class is only for 8th, 9th, 10th, only for foundation classes. For those who are studying in Techno and those who are in Olympiad. So it will help them. So try to understand Newton's laws of motion. Generally, when we are going to start about Newton's laws of motion, first we have to learn how many laws are there. How many laws are there? Generally, Newton proposed three laws. How many proposed? Three. How many laws are there? Three laws are there. See here. How many laws are there? Three laws are there. Out of three laws, the first law is qualitative law. First law is First one is qualitative law and second one is quantitative law. That means first law will explain about the quality, second one will explain about the quantity, and third one it will explain about the isolated force. I hope you are understanding. Actually, if you see Newton's law, generally three laws are there. Out of three laws, the first one it will explain a qualitative law. It is also known. We can say it is a qualitative law. And second one, it is a quantitative law. Quantity. It refers some quantity. Third one, it will explain about isolated force. What is the meaning of isolated? What is the meaning of isolated? We already know in the corona time also we are isolated. We are isolated. Isolated means separated, single. So here also isolated means single. Isolated means. So now we will try to understand about these three forces, and along with these forces we will do some numericals. See here in this situation, here the first one I will write. First one. First one already we know it is a qualitative law. This law is also known as law of inertia. What is this? This law is also known as law of inertia. First we will try to understand actually what is inertia. We will try to understand what is inertia. Inertia is having a great meaning. Inertia means the tendency to continue in its own state. What is inertia? Inertia means tendency to continue in its own state. Tendency to continue tendency to continue in its own state. So here what is the meaning of tendency to continue in its own state? Which means, just I will tell you one example. For example, here tendency means, for example, one student is there. Here one student is there, and he is watching mobile, and he is watching continuous shorts. Continuous shorts he is watching, and mother scolded, "Are you studying?" He will study or he will not study. You want to see the tab only. You want to see the mobile only. You want to see the shorts only. Even though mother is saying two times, three times, four times, that student what he will do? he will do, he's continue his own state. What is the state? That state is watching the tabs, watching the shots, playing games. That means even though some force is acting, even though some force is acting from the parent, this body or this boy does not want to change its position, does not want to change its state. That is called tendency. Tendency means, actually that is called tendency means continue in its own state. This is known as inertia. Inertia means tendency to continue in its own state. I hope you are understanding, right? So generally when we are thinking about inertia, inertia also refers mass. Inertia also refers mass. So here how we can mix these two means more mass, more inertia. More mass, more inertia. Less mass, less inertia. See here I will write more mass, more inertia, less mass, less inertia. For example, a heavy body is moving or a small mass is moving. Which one is easy to stop? Absolutely, it is a small mass. Why? Because small mass is easy to stop. Heavy mass is not that much easy. Heavy mass refers more inertia, so it want to continue its own state. So less mass having less inertia, so by applying small amount of force, we can able to change the state. So here, what is the first one? First one is also known as law of inertia. According to law of inertia, every body has a tendency to continue in its own state. Again, I am repeating. According to law of inertia or according to Newton's first law, every body has a tendency to continue in its own state unless no external force acting on it. Unless no external force acting on it. That means if there is no external force, if there is no force acting on the body want to be in its own state. The body want to be in its own state. That one is called law of inertia, also known as Newton's first law. I hope you are understanding, right? Just see, I will write the definition. According to law of inertia, or according to Newton's first law, according to Newton's first law, every body has a tendency to continue. Every body has a tendency to continue in its own state. Unless no external force acting on it. See, this word is very important. Unless no external force acting on it, the body does not want to change in its state. I already told you one example. Student is there, and he came to school, and after that he went to home, and he will ask, "Mummy, give tab for 5 minutes." Generally, my kids are used to ask like that only. Tab for only 5 minutes, and they started, and the shorts is going on. If we are busy, and that 5 minutes becomes 1 hour, 2 hour without any external force, right? If there is no external force acting on the body, then it want to continue its own state. They will continuously watch till the end of the day. I hope you are understanding, right? So here, according to Newton's first law, every body has a tendency to continue in its own state. Again, just try to repeat the words. If you are listening this video, try to repeat along with me. That's why I'm saying 2-3 times. According to Newton's first law, every body has a tendency. Every body has a tendency to continue in its own state, unless no external force acting on it. Unless no external force acting on it. Is called law of inertia, is also known as Newton's first law. See here, definition I wrote here. Generally, if you want to discuss more about inertia is of 3 types. Inertia is of 3 types. First one, inertia of rest. Second one, inertia of motion. Third one, inertia of direction. See, now tell me, how many types of inertia are there? Tell me, how many types? 3 types. Inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Inertia of rest means body has a tendency to continue in its rest state only. Body has a tendency to continue in its rest state only, called law of inertia of rest. Inertia of motion means body has a tendency to continue in its motion only. Body has a tendency to continue in its motion only. This is called law of inertia of motion. Inertia of direction means body wants to continue in its own direction. Body wants to continue in its own direction, called inertia of direction. Law of inertia of direction. Just we will see many examples are there. If you refer 6th class books, 7th class books, 8th class books, many examples are there based on inertia, and here we are saying motion and direction. And number of examples are there. We will try to see some examples. Just try to understand. Just I am going to elaborate all the 3 inertias in only one example. All the 3 inertias in only one example. Try to understand. Here, bus is there. Bus is there, and here just I'm saying that front seat. Here I am sitting. Right? Where I'm sitting exactly the front seat. Try to understand. My kids, please. See, now bus is at rest. When bus is at rest, I am also sitting, and I thought that bus is not moving. So just imagine I am sleeping. What I am doing? I am sleeping. Then I don't know when the driver came. And he started, bus suddenly started in this direction. When bus is moving in this direction, then which direction I will give jerk? Think and tell me. Which direction? I am sitting here. I don't know which direction the bus is moving. And suddenly bus is moving in this direction. When bus is moving in this direction, which direction I will give the jerk? Backward, right? Yes or no? Backward only, na? Correct. Why? Because, see here, I am sitting here. And suddenly, bus will move in this direction. Move. When bus will move, my lower part is stick with the bus. So with the bus, the body want to move, but my head is there, na? It will go like this. This is due to inertia of rest. This is due to inertia of rest. Why? Because initially I am at rest. Initially I am at rest. Now I am saying to the driver, if you want to go, you go, but I will be at rest only. That is tendency. That is tendency. Tendency means other word. Generally I will say it is an ego. We are saying we are seeing everywhere. In kids are there. Everywhere egos are there, right? Here also it is inertia is also like ego only. I will say to the bus, if you want to go, you go, but I will not go. That's the reaction is, bus will go, but I will not go. I will give backward jerk. That is inertia of rest. And see, now inertia of motion. Now again, bus is moving. Okay, I accepted. And now you go. So driver is also driving, and I am in motion. Now see, bus is moving with 70 kilometer per hour. For example, with some speed, it is moving 70 kilometer per hour. And I am also simply watching. Wow, everything is nice, right? And driver suddenly sees some obstacle, and he told me, "Sir, you hold. I want to apply brakes." What is saying? You hold, sir. I want to apply brakes. Again, my ego hurted. Ego is nothing but inertia. Inertia means what is inertia? Continue in its own state. Now, in which state I am? Motion state. In which state I am? Motion state. But what the driver is saying? I want to apply brakes. I will listen. I will not listen. I will not listen. Why? Because due to inertia, due to my ego. Correct? Then driver told, sir, it is your wish. It is your wish. Then he applied suddenly brakes. Now suddenly moving, apply suddenly brakes. Now you tell me, which direction I will use jerk? Which direction I will use? Front or back? Think and tell me. Which direction I will use jerk? Front or back? Absolutely front. Why? Because my body is in motion. So even the bus want to stop, I don't want to stop. I want to continue in my own state. Which state this? Motion state. So even though bus applies sudden brakes, I don't want to apply. Then automatically I will move forward. Forward, what is there? Glass is there. So glass will break and I will come here. Correct now? I hope you are understanding, right? So here, inertia of rest we can explain. Inertia of motion also we can discuss here. Inertia of rest means every body has a tendency to continue in its own state. Inertia of motion, every body has a tendency to continue in its own state. That own state is nothing but here the motion state. In that last case, it is rest. Now we will see direction, how it will affect it. The same bus, the bus is moving in straight line. For example, I will write here. In this direction, bus is moving towards east. The bus is moving. When bus is moving in this direction, okay, I am accepted. I am also traveling in the direction. When bus suddenly turn in this direction, bus is turning in this direction. Try to understand. Bus is turning in this direction. When bus is turning in this direction, which direction I will use jerk? Which direction? Just imagine. You also feel. When I am moving in this direction, bus will go. We will go outward jerk. Why? Because when bus is moving in this direction, so when bus turns suddenly, but I want to continue the own state. What is the own state here? Direction. I want to continue in the same direction. Even the bus want to move, I don't want to change my direction. That's why when suddenly bus will move in this direction, we'll do outward jerk. When suddenly bus will move in this direction, we'll do outward jerks. Here, this is called law of inertia. Law of inertia. Law of inertia means everybody has a tendency to continue in its own state. Everybody has a tendency to continue in its own state. This is called law of inertia. It is also known as Newton's first law of motion. I hope you understood, right? And we'll see in the next part. Thank you.